Time for you to move along. You keep lingering like this, I'm bound to get nervous.
We have successfully arrived at Phineas's orbital lab, Captain, and we are still in one piece. Shall I congratulate myself, or would you like to do the honors?
I've kept myself busy in your absence, optimized my formula. I'm now confident I can revive the remaining colonists. All I need now is the dimethyl sulfoxide. I'll take as much as you can give me. What? Oh, yes, well, that's obvious. Anyone with 2 working labs can see this colony's slouching toward oblivion. Why do you think we've been doing all this? I revived you to help me save Halcyon from annihilation. Hold on. Let me see if I understand this correctly. You're saying that Halcyon's on the brink. I always knew Halcyon was heading toward a systems collapse, but I never imagined we were already there. That's not a plan. That makes 2 things we don't have. None of this was supposed to happen. I was supposed to revive the Hope's colonists. Human test subjects. Oh, that's grotesque. That's unthinkable. That's exactly what I'd expect out of the board. Thank you. You've brought me enough chemicals to get started, at least. I'm just sorry they came at the cost of human lives. Those poor people, they must have died in agony. What exactly was the board trying to accomplish? You say the board's trying to freeze their subjects over and over again without inflicting permanent damage? Well, they're nowhere close to solving that problem. I'll tell you this much. The board scientists are hopelessly lost. After years of fruitless experimentation, they've made exactly 0 progress. I used to work for these people. I'm intimately familiar with the utter incompetence of the board's own scientists. We're out of time. We're out of chemicals. We may very well be out of options. Do you realize what this means for the Hope? For your fellow colonists? The board's going to kill them all. Short of lining up every member of the... Do you know what's waiting for us on the Hope? Scientists, engineers, artists. The board's going to dispose of them all. And we need to get to those colonists before the board. I have enough chemicals to start reviving a few of them. Merciful gibbering law, you're a genius! We bring the Hope to us. Skip the entire ship across the distance of colony space, right next to my lab. a step ahead of me, but I perceive the shape of your plan. If we link up the Hope to the Unreliable, then use your navigational computer to calculate a reasonably safe vector, we can skip the entire colony ship into the rings of Terra 2.
I've got a healthy disregard for personal safety, but this sounds crazy, even to me.
Your instincts are correct. By any reasonable definition of sanity, this plan is crazy. Isn't it wonderful? You'll need to switch on the Hope's auxiliary power using the Unreliable. Then head to the bridge. Your navigational computer, Ada, should be able to activate the Hope's skip drive. Once you've skipped the Hope next to my lab, I'll have easy access to the frozen colonists. I can start reviving them immediately. I know you're wondering why I'm doing all this. Why I believe the people on the Hope are the answer to the colony's problems. The Hope is carrying some of humanity's most brilliant thinkers, scientists, engineers, experts in their field. If we work together, we can still find a way to save Halcyon. The board would have us believe Halcyon is beyond saving. I choose to believe otherwise. If there's even the slightest chance we can save Halcyon from oblivion, then we have to take it. You absolutely should. Sarcasm, the last refuge of the witless. The adjutant must have sent you some kind of tracking code. If you don't use the code, she'll suspect you betrayed her. I think you should use the code and send a corrupted tracking signal. That should buy me some time. The enemy is bound to discover my hideout sooner or later. I'm prepared for that eventuality. This is just my way of buying myself a little time. Use my communications terminal to corrupt the tracking signal. While the board busies themselves trying to decipher it, I'll have plenty of time to prepare my defenses. Certainly. Unlikely. The Hope is as massive as the Groundbreaker, but compared to the rings of Terra 2, positively minuscule. The board might notice, possibly, depending on the position of their heads relative to the depth of their collective posterior. It wouldn't surprise me. When I pulled you out of the Hope, the board nearly intercepted me. I expect they stepped up security since my little act of larceny. Skip drives were never designed to be used within a system, but I skipped my ship across Halcyon when I rescued you, and that turned out fine. That is, I ruined my ship and nearly killed myself in the process, but... You've bought me more than enough time.
Captain, I hope you have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
I'm impressed, Captain. I almost expected you wouldn't go. Unfortunately, Dr. Wells found a way to corrupt the signal before we could pinpoint his location. Come visit me in Byzantium. We need to have a talk about the future of this colony. Meet me in my office. I've authorized your ship at my personal land.
Adjutant Akande has ended her call. We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
Not so fast. All right, you're clear. The adjutant's expecting you. Go on through.
I admit part of me expected you to stand by your old friend. For better or worse, Wells was responsible for putting you back on your feet. That said, he's also a wanted criminal. For information, I understand you've infiltrated the Ministry. Halcyon is on the verge of a total systems collapse. The malnutrition is already a problem. Disease will come next. I know this must come as a surprise.
What's in this for you?
I appreciate your skepticism, Dr. Fenhill. But I'm not... My angle is the preservation of our colony by any means.
Is that why we were suffering plague in Edgewater? Malnutrition? All those folks sick and dying, and you knew why the whole time?
Yes, Miss Holcomb, we knew why. We've known for some time that Edgewater was dying. The colony itself is dying. The suffering you experienced in Edgewater, the disease, the starvation, will soon spread across Halcyon unless we act. I won't pretend the truth isn't damning. Yes, the colony is on the verge of collapse. But there is a way to save it. We need to talk about Emerald Vale. Thanks to your meddling, Edgewater is without power. Operations have ground to a halt. You've left us with a useless town draining our resources. Edgewater needs to go. I want you to wipe the town out. No survivors.
I get that you board types are all about efficiency, but isn't this a bit much?
I'm asking your captain to amputate a rotting limb from the colony. I'd expect you to understand, Dr. Finhill.
You're a monster.
Someone has to be. Now is not the time for half measures, Captain. I need a decision from you. When you diverted power to the botanical lab, you spelled the end of Edgewater. But the town, with every passing day, Edgewater leeches more of our limited resources. Because right now, you're the only person I can depend on. Halcyon is going to collapse while the board hems and haws and debates minutiae. We need to act. And I'm not asking you to be a murderer. I'm asking you to be a surgeon. Edgewater is a necrotic limb. We don't have any other option. The colony is...
I won't. Don't make me choose between you and Edgewater, Captain.
I'm glad you can keep... Edgewater is beyond saving. You were in the Emerald Vale geothermal plant. Do you remember? There was an accident at the Emerald Vale geothermal plant many years ago. In fact, Spacer's Choice manufactured the incident for an insurance claim. They outfitted their mechanicals with a termination protocol, which is exactly what we need. The insurance claim has been locked in committee for years, but the individual responsible for the accident was promoted for lateral thinking. I'm arranging for a delivery of mechanicals to Edgewater. These mechanicals have been equipped with the same termination protocol. Once the mechanicals are finished cleaning out Edgewater, I appreciate the flattery, Captain. One last thing. Spacer's Choice sent a team of soldiers to investigate your little misadventure in the geothermal plant. Tread lightly. Then don't tread lightly. Carve a path through them for all I care. Just take care of it. Report back to me.
Where are we headed? You want to ask about anything? It sure is lonely out here. Anything could happen.
So we're really gonna... I've seen lots of crazy cats. Do you really think he knows what he's doing? Sending us to skip the... Something tells me you're the first person to... I think this whole plan's insane. But, speaking of, I get that Phineas thinks he's saving the colony. I'll do anything for a good story, and nothing shines on a pirate's resume like a... But I ask... Coming from anyone else, that would sound like a line from one of those Odeon... Still, all this depends on the other Hope colonists. On the... You're too trusting, and I'm... Well, whenever... Anything else?
Adjutant Akande has instructed me to reward you for information leading to... Quite so, sir.
Sending a corrupted tracking signal to the board was quite clever, if I might say, Captain. Welcome back. How can... Take care. We have arrived at the Hope. I need you to reroute power from our ship to the Hope's auxiliary generator. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system so I can convince her central computer to enable the skip drive. If your calculations are even slightly off, you could crash or the sun. The Hope is the Groundbreaker's prettier, sleeker sister. She wandered off and got lost for 70 years, but just recently. Also, there are hundreds of thousands of frozen organic life. I think I'll initiate.
Let's hope we don't have to run in a hurry. You got nimble fingers, Captain.
Yeah, huh?
You know, when they posted us here, I told them there wasn't any point. Nobody would be so stupid as to fly to the ass end of the colony for this derelict. Shows how much I know. You've got about 5 seconds to tell me what you're doing here before I make you take a walk outside. Explode? Holy shit. All right. You'll want a uniform so my staff doesn't shoot you on sight. We've got a few extra in the old bag.
I could do that. You all right, Captain? I mean, seeing this place again.
Can you hear me, Captain? I have successfully integrated myself into the Hope's comm systems, and am attempting to establish contact with the Hope's more primitive processor now. Would you like me to play a mood-suitable music selection while you travel to the bridge? Oh, sorry. File not found.
Reminder, please pay your gravesite fee.
I see you've located the stasis chambers. What pod were you slumbering in for so long, Captain? The missing one, I take it?
Looking good.
That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wake him.
Once we switch that thing on, we can get out of here, right? Keep him quiet, Cap.
Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. It's a rather cramped feeling, but it'll do. Probably not, but don't let that stop you. Searching. Please stand by. Ah, found it. Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. And also potentially kill an entire... Jump-starting the skip drive. Destination set to the rings of Terra 2. I wouldn't advise that.
In case I don't get another chance to say it.
Admitting a deficit? My, you never cease to amaze me, Captain. Skipping the Hope in 3, 2...
ADA, does your captain seriously intend to do a micro-jump in system with engines that haven't been powered in 70 years on a derelict ship?
That is what my captain intends, yes.
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive. The Zero Point Drives Corp and I will not be held responsible for any damage incurred during transport, and this will cause extreme damage.
Yes, I am aware of that.
You should not be doing this. The humans will die.
Thank you, Hope. It looks like all systems are go. Captain, I would advise you to hold on to something. Now. Oh, good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Terra 2's orbit. I reported as much to Phineas Wells, but he has not responded. Perhaps we should check in on him.
Oh. I feel like I've been turned inside out. Let's not do that again.
These were the private quarters of the Hope's former crew. Shall we hold a moment of silence for the dearly departed? No? That's odd, because my programming would indicate that when forced to confront the idea of self-death, organics prefer... Oh, I see. Yes, never mind.
At least no one's gonna mind if we take their stuff.
Error. Hope crew data not found. Identify yourself. Error. Hibernation pod access is registered. A fine of 10,000 bits will be assessed in your corporation's ledger. Authorized personnel.
What? Something's not right.
Here they come! The last of them.
Should we assign Sam for a cleanup?
Oh gosh. I'm gonna be sick. You alright, Captain? I mean, seeing this place again?
Searching for unauthorized persons.
What was that?
Hold it right there!
Huh? What was that?
Incoming!
Captain, I am receiving a transmission from Dr. Wells. The transmission is marked with priority status. Urgent!